Thank you so much, Katie. Now I'm going to talk about why we believe strategy number 3, or Binnj Breakdown, is the best strategy for us to implement from both a qualitative and quantitative perspective. Now, when looking at it from a qualitative perspective, a couple of things stand out to us about why this strategy really does capture the most value. First of all, when you look at the quality of product, you can see that this strategy never sacrifices quality of product. We establish that we're going to deliver an excellent product right off the bat. Yes, it has some less features, which Taylor's going to talk about in a bit, but ultimately, we never sacrifice the quality, which is the most important when first introducing ourselves to the marketplace and really trying to establish our own brand. Secondly, if you look at what we're aiming to deliver, it's more simplified, which is great because when you first introduce new products to customers, you don't want them to be overwhelmed. And if we introduced a more complex or difficult app to use, I think that we would lose a lot of customers just because the learning curve is a little too high. If you also look at the idea that we're able to capture clients right off the bat, it's really a huge plus for the app. We never have to sacrifice those initial clients like we might have to do in other strategies we suggested, which is great because we worked hard to get them, we don't want to give them up, and ultimately we want to gain as much market share as possible. In this strategy, we never sacrifice market share, we never sacrifice clients, and we keep the quality high and simple. So I think that qualitatively, it's really a great strategy. From a quantitative perspective, we'll look at 3 different things. We'll look at revenue streams, potential ERGs, and app valuation. So when first looking at potential ERGs, you can really think of this as looking at potential clients. And so if you compare this strategy to our most basic strategy number 1, which is just accepting the contract as is in 2 months, you can see that when looking at the graph, the light blue and the light purple are the ERGs that we would capture using this. And you can see that really our client growth is astronomically higher using strategy number 3, or Binnj Breakdown, rather than using strategy number 1. This is for a couple different reasons, but I think that really focusing on product excellence and simplifying the initial round allows us to look for more clients initially instead of worrying about all of the production and all of the development that's needed right off the bat, which will allow us, I think, to A, move into the American markets, which I don't think we could have done with the other strategy, and B, I think it'll allow us to really reach out, connect with our customers, and grow rapidly. So you can see based on the chart that by year 11, which is the year that most apps tend to IPO, so we use that as kind of a deadline, you can see that by that time, we've assumed an 80% adoption rate for a couple different reasons. I think Taylor's going to tell you a little bit about why people are going to be so willing to adopt our app early on. But you can see that really we're able to hit the market with a bang. Next, if you look at revenue analysis, you can tell that the green is strategy number 3, Binnj Breakdown. The blue is strategy number 1. You can tell that really our revenues just grow astronomically, partly due to our client growth, which I just showed in the previous slide, but also partly because we're able to break our app down into 3 different products. We have a basic product, we have a plus product, and then we have a premium product, kind of like LinkedIn, for example. This allows our customers to decide which product they're more comfortable with from a cost basis so that we can have the most adoption early on because they can select this more simplified product. And then later on, when we have valuable customers that are loyal to us, we're able to capture this loyalty and monetize on it through a premium product that they're then able to subscribe to, as well as the plus product. So you can see that really just even from a premium standpoint alone, we hit $1.4 million in revenues by year 11. And I think this is huge, and this is what this strategy really enables us to capture, which is why it really is the best for Binnj going forward from a revenue, client, and quality basis. Finally, if you look at different app valuations for companies that are similar, for example, Snapchat is a little bit less similar because it's a social media app, but you can tell that it was valued at about $10 billion. Square, OpenTable, and Seamless are other apps that are more comparable because they have to do with the retail or food industry. You can tell that all of those tend to be between $5 to $1.5 billion, which is huge. I think that using strategy 3, it'll get us to this point sooner. It'll let us really be able to IPO at latest by year 11. And if you use the average of those 3 apps as a comparable, you can tell that Binnj will be around about $4 billion, which is huge. I think that this strategy really allows us, therefore, to capture on a qualitative and quantitative basis. And now Taylor's going to tell you how we're actually going to get there.